Hi, everybody. I'm Katie.
Oh, and I'm Candace.
And this is Dead in the Heart of Texas, a Texas true crime and paranormal podcast.
Yeah, welcome back. Before we get started, I just wanted to take time to address and acknowledge the Black Lives Matter movement and demonstrations happening in the U.S. and around the world. This is actually our first episode, aside from the podcast Blackout episode, that we've actually recorded. The last two episodes we've released were recorded months ago. So in that meantime, we have been researching, educating ourselves, and we've been having tough discussions with friends and family, as well as, internal discussions on how we can become better allies in ways that we, may have benefited unknowingly or knowingly, perhaps, from systematic racism, and what we can do to change that. We here at Dead in the Heart of Texas support this movement, and we will do what we can so that one day we can have an equal society, because enough is enough, and this should not still be going on. It really shouldn't.
Yeah, it should not.
It should not. On a side note, I'm actually really proud of NASCAR, of all sports. They banned the Confederate flag after one of my favorite drivers, Bubba Wallace, went on CNN and, had a discussion about it and asked that NASCAR did so. And I don't know, Katie, if you've been really, following the news, but on Sunday, they found a noose hanging in Bubba Wallace's, it's not a pit stall. A stall for his car in the garage. Yeah, and so this, shocked them all, and the FBI and NASCAR quickly, investigated it, and it was discussed, was it today or yesterday? I think yesterday, that, it wasn't a noose, it was a pull rope for the garage door.
Yeah, I saw your post. That's what that was about. I was like, this is so bad.
Yeah, but, here's the thing. Pull ropes aren't usually, made to look like nooses.
Yeah, you have to kind of make them look like one.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, well, we have photographic evidence that that's been there since 2019, and then there's no explanation as to why it's been there since 2019. Bubba was randomly assigned this stall. He never saw the noose. One of his pit crew members did, and they reported it immediately. And since the truth has come to light, people are now, questioning Bubba's honesty, which really pisses me off, and I know it's pissing him off, too. Because, like I said, he didn't see the noose, he didn't want attention, people are calling him, saying he's like that, is it Jesse Smollett from Empire? Do you know the guy I'm talking about?
I've never seen Empire.
Who, he allegedly faked a hate crime.
Oh.
Which was really sad, because his character was my favorite on Empire. But, people are saying, that's what he did, he just wanted attention, and I do not believe that he wanted attention. However, I'm still not buying into this, the results of this investigation. It's not sitting right with me.
No, same.
I don't know,
Or just from the post you shared, seeing, their official statement, I was like, if you actually believe this, you need a new job.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm very conflicted on it, but I don't want people to slander Bubba Wallace's name. He does not deserve that. He has gotten a lot of hate for the recent changes, that NASCAR has instituted. He's also gotten a lot of support from across, the whole, NASCAR world, from, the drivers, the team crew, and as well as, other athletes from different sports, and just people from all over the world, really. But of course, there's those people who still want to hang on to that Confederate flag.
I feel like I saw, like, another post or something, maybe a meme, which was, like, I think it was Golden Girls, but they were saying, like, Golden Girls was, like, around for this amount of years, which was, like, longer than the Confederacy was a thing, so they were like, shouldn't we be having statues of, like, those old women? And I'm like, yes. You know, I wouldn't mind. Like, Betty White, is that...
I demand a statue of Betty White in B. Arthur. What's Rowan Blanchard? No. What's her name?
I don't know. I've never seen Golden Girls either.
Blanche Devereaux.
I
know.
What?
You've never seen Golden Girls?
Well, Candace is going to be visiting me soon, so maybe we can have a binge marathon.
We've got so many shows to watch. But real quick, since you mentioned Mean Girls, since you mentioned Golden Girls, I have Katie and I just finished a workout, a virtual workout. What's another?
The Chloe Ting got one, guys. 2-week shred.
Yeah, it has shredded my yoga mat and my brain, apparently. But okay, back to the story. So, I watched, Golden Girls in middle school. That was, like, the thing I loved to watch. And then, I don't know, I was having a conversation with my grandma or something, and she, like, mentioned something and stopped, because it was, like, it would had to do with sex or something. And I was like, I mean, I know what sex is. I watched the Golden Girls. So anyways, I learned more about sex ed from the Golden Girls than I did from my own family teaching me, so... Or from public school. And that's all you need to know about Texas. And there goes half our audience. Just kidding. But yeah, Katie and I have been doing a virtual workout for... It's a 2-week ab challenge by Chloe Ting. It's kicking my butt.
And if you really want to push yourself and feel like you're dying every day, then do it. But hey, it's great.
We have a rest day tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, for Candace, a rest day is like walking only 3 miles.
Maybe. Walking 1 mile to 4 miles a day is my everyday workout. In the heat, sweating. It's fun. It's fun. How have you been?
Well, I've been... feel like the same as I was at the beginning of quarantine. But I'm in a new, undisclosed location. The apartment doesn't look like crap anymore, so that's nice. You'll see it when you visit.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna go visit her on I leave on Sunday. And, I don't know, maybe... Oh, by the way, we're on YouTube. If you would like to listen to us on YouTube, it's Dead in the Heart of Texas. You can just Google. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe you'll be seeing our faces on that YouTube channel soon. Who's to say?
And I said, I can't talk after a workout. Well, you might see our faces, but no guarantee I'm gonna look pretty.
Same. They're like, oh, look at these 2 talking potatoes over here.
Potatoes. Like I said on my YouTube channel, potatoes are welcome.
And as I commented on your YouTube channel, Lord, your channel, your YouTube channel. Hey,
and we haven't even added Froze yet. We haven't even added Froze to this equation.
We haven't even been drinking, except for water. But, yeah, as I commented on your YouTube channel, hey, potatoes are a snack and a whole damn meal, alright? They are the best. Or they can be a snack.
They are.
And a whole damn meal.
If you guys don't like potatoes, that means you probably don't like French fries, so we just can't be friends anyway.
Don't talk to us. You can't sit with us if you don't like potatoes.
Yeah. You really can't. If you're allergic, that's a different story.
Yeah. I just realized I'm watching me record and I'm not even looking at you. There you are.
Oh, I can't even see myself because I have, like, the recording app open, so I just see you.
I didn't even see you, but now I can see you.
Nope, now we're both just looking at you.
Yikes.
Alright, shall we move on to today's cheery stories?
Yeah, let's do it.
Should I go first?
just stare at each other. we just communicated telepathically our stories. Did y'all catch that? Yeah, you should know everything we've covered. So that's the end of the story, or episode. Just kidding.
Yeah, see you next time, guys. Alright, well, wipe those smiles off your faces, otherwise I will for you, sadly. So, I have the true crime story for today. I don't know why I said that. But anyway, I am going to be talking about something that will probably tug on a lot of heartstrings in a very sad way, which is the case that led to the, would you say, like, nationwide, oh, sorry, I just got the nationwide commercial.
Is on your side.
The nationwide program known as Amber Alerts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's,
Yeah, so I will be talking about...
fun stuff.
So today I will be talking about the abduction and murder of Amber Hagerman, the girl who was the beginning of Amber Alerts.
Alright.
Let's go back in time. Not actually. So basically, on January 13, 1996, in Arlington, Texas, Amber and her brother decided to kind of ride their bikes, and they rode their bikes like 2 blocks away from their grandparents' house to the parking lot of an abandoned Winn-Dixie. And there was like I guess it was really fun for little kids, because there was like a ramp that trucks would used to go on for deliveries, so they'd kind of go up and down it. And it seemed to be like a very regular thing for them. And it was just like any other day, right? However, basically, that day they left, and then Amber's parents and grandparents were like, oh, make sure you stay together, like you should, right? But anyway, Amber wanted to stay around a little bit longer, so her brother went back to the house, and then his mom was, I said parents before, but it was actually just their mother, and the mom was like, oh, where's Amber? And he was like, oh, she's still riding her bike. And it was time for dinner, so they said, go find her and bring her back for dinner. We're waiting. And so basically, her brother went to go find her, but by the time he rode his bike back to the abandoned Winn-Dixie 2 blocks away, Amber was missing. And then, so he realized something was probably wrong, and he rode back immediately, and he got his grandfather and was like, she's not there. And they were like, what do you mean she's not there? So, he's like, okay, I'll drive. The grandpa's with that, not the little brother, by the way.
The 5-year-old was like, I got this.
So basically, they drove there, and literally, a minute later when they got to the Winn-Dixie again, there was a cop car, and they saw Amber's bike on the ground, and basically, there was also an older man about, I would say, grandfather age. That's pretty generic, but that's how I'll describe it. And the witness was named Jim Kevill, and just to quote him, he saw an adult male stranger snatch a screaming, kicking girl, which they realized was Amber, from her bike, and wrangle her into a black pickup in the Winn-Dixie parking lot before driving off. And basically, in case any of you are wondering, like I did initially when reading reports, the reason that Jim Kevill didn't, like, stop it himself is because he was older, and I feel like he was just, like, really shocked with what he was seeing. Like, I've never seen this happen, but I feel like I would also be like, what is going on, you know? But anyway, so once Jim saw this happen, he was like, oh, I need to call the police, like, right now. And so they got there, but by then it was too late. She was gone. And so Jim describes her attacker as either a white or Hispanic man, around 6 feet tall, medium build, and between the ages of 25 and 40 years old. And basically, during the investigation and search for Amber, which took place in about 4 to 5 days, for some reason the number changes throughout different articles, so I'm trying to give you, like, a idea. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that's weird, right? Like, the day of how long she was missing kind of changes.
Yeah.
But anyway, more than 50 federal agents and officers searched for her, but they didn't find her. Now, so according to the research, the most common day was 4, where they're looking for her. So on January 17th, 1996, 4 days later, a dog walker actually just saw something in the distance.
Yeah.
In a creek near Arlington Forest Hill Apartments, which was just a few miles from the Hagerman's home. And when he found it, it turned out to be her body. And police believe that she washed up there due to recent thunderstorms. and her throat had been cut.
Oh, no.
I think that means they believe that her body was discarded in the river or something, and it just got washed away so they don't actually know the official location of where she might have been disposed of, which I hate using that word. So, that's the story of the crime, which is very horrific, to say the least.
Yeah, for sure.
According to today, several officers and detectives are still, taking anonymous tips, which they still receive regularly, which is good. But, so they're still, searching for answers on what happened to Amber and who took her. While the story is horrific, it did, like I said, lead to the Amber Alert system. And I think everybody knows the Amber Alert system as the piercing ringtone on your phone that goes off at random times that kind of gives you a heart attack. And I am, also one of those people who's always I was just about to take a nap. I mean, be productive with my day. And then be annoyed, and usually, to be honest, I'd ignore it. But after, researching this, I definitely will try to pay attention. Although, happy side, I haven't gotten any Amber Alerts in months, so that's good.
That's good. Unlike here, there was, on average, about one a day for, a week or two, probably a week.
During quarantine?
Yeah, it was, I can't remember when. Maybe it was the beginning of May, and I don't know. But yeah, time just kind of blurs together. But it was we were getting a lot of them.
That's terrible. Anyway, so let's talk about the Amber Alert system. After Amber's funeral, there's a lady named Diane Simone. It's spelled Simone, so I'm going to assume that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
I've just never heard Simone be a last name before. So basically, Diane Simone was a fellow mother, and after learning about Amber's case, she called into a local radio station and with a really amazing idea. And she basically was hey, if the local media can send out weather alerts, why can't they do the same thing for abducted kids?
Oh.
And yeah, so that was pretty much her idea. And when she said that, basically the National Weather Service broadcasters in the Dallas-Fort Worth area ended up partnering with local law enforcement, and with this partnership, they were able to start alerting people about child abductions. And since 1996, the system has gone nationwide. And so, basically all the states are using it now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And some random facts. The Amber... Candace, do you know what the Amber acronym actually stands for?
It's an acronym?
Yeah.
I thought it was just named after the girl.
No.
Hang on. Let me think. America's missing babies. Ergo returned. I don't know.
Okay, you had the first two right. It's America's Missing Broadcast Emergency Response.
All right.
Yeah, you had the first two.
Better
than I could have done.
That makes sense.
Let's see. So, like I said, the Amber Alert program is nationwide now. And as of 2015, over 800 kids have been found because of Amber Alerts.
All right, so
and I'm pretty sure it might be even bigger. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it might even be bigger. Because oh gosh, that was 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah. So hopefully.
Let's see, and if any of you are more interested in Amber's story, just in general, they actually made a Lifetime-like movie. I can't remember if it was actually Lifetime, but it was actually pretty good, and it's called Amber's Story, and you can find it on Amazon Prime. In some cases, it might just be called Amber Alert, aka Amber's Story.
Mm-hmm.
And based on one of the articles I found, like I said, the investigation is still open, and so if any of you have information regarding Amber's case, it says to contact Detective Ben Lopez at 817-459-5373. And I'll just say that number one more time. So it's Detective Ben Lopez at 817-459-5373. And maybe 5373. And I don't know. I can send that to you, so maybe we can even incorporate it in the description or something.
I wrote it down. Just one more time, in case the listeners aren't sick of hearing it. 817-549-5373.
459.
459?
Yep.
Glad I asked. Okay. Cool.
Let's see. So that's basically what I have on this. It's kind of a shorter story, but I feel like it's really important to share. And also, just be safe. And if you I don't have kids. Candace has dogs, so maybe you can count as a mom.
I never,
just be safe, guys.
I never let them ride their bikes down to the abandoned Winn-Dixie.
Sounds good. But basically, yeah, guys, be safe. There's a lot of scary stuff out there. So that's what I'll leave you with.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are a lot of creepy pedophiles and people who want to take advantage and do take advantage of vulnerable children. And there's a special place in hell for those people.
Yeah.
Like my nephew, he always wants to ride his bike by the by the road, and we always tell him no, you can't go past a certain spot just because you never know. Well, good story. Sad.
Sad story.
I'm surprised that that's not solved, because when did it happen? In
1996.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought, 1996. Well, and then Diana Simone is the woman we can all think when our phones buzz. That story reminds me of, there's this video, I don't know if you've seen it, but it was like how they think we're supposed to react when we get an Amber Alert. And it's like, so they get the Amber Alert, and this guy, he like runs out on the street, and all these other guys like come out of their homes, and they're like looking, and like a car fitting the description drives by, and so they start like chasing it.
Oh my gosh. Hey, if everybody did that, that's probably why they find so many kids.
Yeah, I try to look out for it when I would take my commutes from to work. Just because it was such a long drive.
If you guys get those alerts, pay attention, especially if you're on the road or running errands that day, hopefully with face masks on. But anyway, yeah, pay attention, keep an eye out, and you might just save a child.
Yeah, you could save a life. They're there for a reason, and I know a lot of people turn them off.
Yeah, please don't do that, guys.
Don't do that. I know it might be annoying, but, if that was your kid, you wouldn't want someone to do that.
Or if it was you when you were a child.
Yeah. You would, not want that. Alright. My story is also pretty short. It's probably the shortest story I've done yet. If you ever find yourself in Jefferson, Texas, maybe you're, going through the cypress swamps looking for Bigfoot that allegedly haunts the swamps, or perhaps you can spend the night at the Jefferson Hotel. So, just a little background. In the 1840s, Jefferson, Texas was a hub for steamboats that would make their way from New Orleans, and Jefferson was I think it was the southernmost port in Texas at the time. And back during this time, the hotel was actually a warehouse that was used to store cotton, which was brought in by the steamboats. During this time, it was the second most developed city in Texas, next to Galveston. Oh, and I'm sorry, it was the farthest western port city, not the farthest southern. Western.
Wow, Candace, can't believe you messed that up.
I'm telling you, I low-key think that workout, fried my brain. I'm not even gonna lie.
I'm just thinking of Heather's now, freeze your brain, fry your brain.
Fry your brain. Okay, anyways. So, yeah, towards the end of the 19th century, beginning of the early 20th century, it was turned into a hotel. And in the 20s, it was dubbed the Crystal Palace, and it was home to jazz, flapper girls, and elaborate parties, a la Big Gatsby, Great Gatsby. This one's a mess. So, if you do stay at the Jefferson Hotel, make sure to check out the Book of the Dead. which is the hotel guest book where people write down their paranormal encounters that they had while staying at the hotel. There's, like, so many encounters, and it happens so often that people, like, would go down to the front desk and be like, oh, like, my god, this happened, and they'd just be like, yeah, write it down in the book.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So just some of the things that just staff has witnessed alone. They claim to hear dishes moving, the payphone will ring, and there'll be nobody there. TVs turn on and off, and things will just fall for no apparent reason. Now, the main and probably most famous ghost at this hotel is Elizabeth or Lydia Grisby. The story kind of varies. Basically, they were both jilted brides who hanged themselves in the 1870s after being stood up at their wedding.
Oh.
This ghost hanged herself in room 19. It was rumored she was pregnant, which of course was like a big no-no during the time to be pregnant out of wedlock. And she somehow managed to hang herself from the 12-foot headboard of the bed. Former manager Jody Breckenridge claimed to have found an old newspaper that confirms the story that Lydia Grisby was staying at the hotel with her family when she got word from her fiancé that he was not going to show up to the wedding. What a jerk, right? Couldn't even tell her in person.
I feel like if that happened to me, all my bridesmaids would have gone after the dude.
I would have, yeah, for sure. So she hanged herself. The bed she hanged herself on has been moved from, like, room to room. So I currently am not too sure where it's resided at. It's moved from, like, room 12 to 14. And she seems to follow the bed for some reason, and not necessarily the room she hanged herself in. And I think the reason why they call this ghost Liddy is because they think it's either two possible ghosts, or two possible women, Elizabeth or Lydia Grisby. Apparently, there were two women with those names that both hanged themselves on the headboard. But one is not confirmed, and the other is confirmed. So they're not too sure which one it is.
Great job with identification.
Yeah. So, you know her when you see her because she is a thin woman with long blonde hair, and she is shrouded in mist. She usually appears to men who are traveling alone. An older man was in his 90s who claimed he didn't believe in ghosts until he came face to face with her. He was wandering around the hotel when he couldn't sleep, and he saw this woman float down the stairs. She smiled at him and disappeared completely before reaching the bottom of the stairs. So that's Lydia, or Liddy. There are children ghosts that haunt the hotel. They haunt the lower levels. They like to play pranks on staff and guests. They like to move objects and turn lights on and off. You can hear them chasing each other through the hallways as they giggle. Don't like that. And guests will bring toys as offerings to the children. Their favorite items are pennies, marbles, and keys. Which reminds me, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I honestly feel like I could be, like, haunted by a ghost and have no idea. Like, they would hide my keys and things, and I would just think that I misplaced them. Or they would, like, open all the cabinets in the kitchen, and I would just come in and be like, oh my god, I forgot to close all these cabinets.
Oh, especially when we have kids ourselves, then I'll be like, I don't know, some kids did it.
Right? Like, I feel like if a ghost were to ever haunt me, they would just get so frustrated, because I would just think that it was me misplacing and opening things on.
And that is a great idea for a screenplay.
Shh, I'm writing it right now.
Actually, it's my idea, so I'm doing it. Sorry. I don't know how to write screenplays. I was kidding. Just go lose your keys.
Let's write it together when I visit next week.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here. Oh, yes. So a medium claims that one child is older than Elizabeth's spirit, so meaning she's been around here longer than Elizabeth's spirit has. Or Lydia's spirit, sorry. I get confused.
That's okay. I get the drift. We get the.
They have 2 names for the same ghost, just pick one. Like, actually they have 3 names. They had, like, Elizabeth, Liddy, and Lydia.
Just call her Elle.
Elle Woods. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so a medium came to the hotel, to do a reading, and she claimed that one child is older than Elizabeth's spirit, and has haunted the hotel since it was a mill. So that was back in the 1840s. People have actually seen these ghosts in hallways of the hotel. There appears to be a little boy and girl around 7 or 8 years old. The girl is described as wearing a pinafore, white leotard, and black high-top button boots. And the boy wears, like, knee-length breeches.
I'll keep an eye out if we ever go.
Yes. So, if you spend the night in room 5, you may see the Vanishing Man. A young boy who stayed there claimed he couldn't sleep because a man in a long coat and high boots kept waking him up. Like I said, this man's known as the Vanishing Man.
Ghost.
And has been seen in many other rooms of the hotel, usually standing or sitting on a chair, although he appears to be most active in room 5. He will stare at you for long periods before simply vanishing. He usually appears, like, pretty solid, and many guests have mistaken him for, like, a live human being. People who have followed him report, they will follow him throughout the hallways, and have reported him just vanishing into closed doors. Yeah, so they don't think they're following a ghost, they think they're following an actual man, and he just disappears into a door. So room 19 is supposed to be the most haunted room in the hotel. This is where the bride hanged herself. People will hear footsteps walking throughout the room. This room is also home to a ghost named Judy. She is allegedly the ghost of a teenage prostitute who was stabbed multiple times by a client and left to die in the bathtub. This was also when the hotel was a brothel at one point. Fun fact. Guests who have stayed here report getting out of the shower to find notes scribbled on the bathroom mirror, which I don't necessarily believe that's a ghost. Because, like, if you, like, take a shower and you write something in the fogged up, so, like, the next day when you take a shower, you know, the mirror gets fogged up again, and the message will appear on the mirror. So, like, there was a Ghost Hunters episode where allegedly people, you know, would get out of the shower and there'd be notes scribbled on the mirror. And so he decided to go and test it out. And he, like, wrote, like, I forgot, I think it was Amy was her name. She was sleeping in that room that night. And so they scribbled on the mirror. They were like, Amy, you're fired. And so that night or next morning when she went to go take a shower, she got out and she saw what was written on the mirror. So she knew it was them. So I don't necessarily believe that that's anything paranormal.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But sometimes what's written on the mirror, there can be pleas for help, there might be warnings, and the name Judy has been seen, which is where they get the name from. In 2004, one woman was in the bathroom and witnessed for herself the mirror fog up on its own, and she saw the word help being written in real time. So that might have some validity to it if it's actually true. Now, I do want to mention it's unknown if the ghost's name is Judy or if she's calling out to a long-lost friend who is perhaps named Judy. Or her killer. That would be a twist. So also, the ceiling fan has been known to turn on and off by itself. But it's also a pretty old hotel, so who's to say? So, in the hallway, a woman who woke up at 5 a.m., she went out to the hallway to make some coffee. As she was making coffee, she felt as if someone were watching her. So she turns around and she sees, like, a young, good-looking man dressed in old-fashioned kind of Western attire. And he turns around and he walks to the entrance foyer towards rooms 20 and 21. She thought it was odd because she hadn't heard any doors open or anything, so being the nosy Karen that she was, she went to go check it out. And the doors for both rooms were wide open and no one was in sight, and there was, like, no place for this man to go. Unless he went into the bathrooms, which could be a possibility, because I don't think she went to go check out the bathrooms.
Oh, Karen. Okay.
So, in room 23, At one point, the owners hired a young woman to stay at the hotel for a couple of days, and she acted as manager while they were on vacation. She was the only employee there at the time, and there was only one room that was occupied by guests. So she was a little freaked out, so she decided to sleep in the room next to the couple that was there. So she stayed in room 23. She was awoken in the middle of the night, what sounded like furniture moving in the room above hers. Of course, no one was in that room, and then the next morning the couple asked if she heard the noises because it had woken them up too. So, the last ghost I have is Mrs. I don't know how to pronounce this. Scoulter?
How do you spell it?
Miss Schutler. I spelled it 2 different ways. I think I might have left out an H in one of them. Schluter? S-C-H-L-U-T-E-R.
Schluter's fine.
It's a German name. You know how the Germans are.
Schluter.
So it was said that, we'll just call her Mrs. S. Still haunts the hotel. She was the owner from the 1890s through the roaring 20s. People have reported seeing her throughout the hotel. So, unfortunately, last I checked, the hotel is closed for renovations. So you can't actually stay there. However, there are many different ghost tours throughout the town. It's like a really haunted town. And a lot of the tours will stop outside the Jefferson Hotel. And maybe, if you're lucky, you can see Mrs. S. Looking out a window or something.
Okay. Intrigue.
Yeah. So that is the story of the Jefferson Hotel. I thought I was going to find a lot more on it, actually, if I'm being honest. But I know Haunted Places podcast did an episode on the Jefferson Hotel, and I think you can find that on Stitcher Premium. For some reason, Haunted Places, they'll only have their episodes up for the public for like a 6-month span, and then they like archive it to Stitcher Premium. So if you have a Stitcher Premium account, you can listen to it. Or it might still be up. I tried to look for it earlier, but I couldn't find it.
Okay. Or you could just keep listening to this episode.
Yeah. Or you could just keep listening to us. But yeah, it's kind of a short episode from us today. I think Katie and I are a little tired right now, so sorry about that. Maybe we should have recorded. No. I was gonna say we should have recorded pre-workout, but
next time.
I don't know, maybe.
We have a lot of fun content planned, especially when Candace is visiting.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to plug some of your... You want to plug your YouTube?
Oh, yeah. Remember to check out my YouTube channel, which is Freckle2T. T as in T-E-A. The wonderful warm drink. I don't know why I specified
that. Tea and drink with jam and bread?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and I should be posting my first YouTube channel, or not YouTube channel, YouTube episode pretty soon, so that's exciting. I'm currently editing it. I still need to finish a few things, or film a few things, but yeah, almost ready.
I'm classy.
Yeah, do you have anything you want to add?
I think I am good.
Alright. Oh, one thing I do want to add, I do apologize, I know we've been uploading kind of late the past 2 weeks. There's just been a lot going on. So we may release episodes either on Saturday or Sunday yet. I haven't decided. So I'll have an answer for you by next week, though. And until next time, remember, y'all, don't let black-eyed kids move the furniture above the room you're sleeping at night and then wake you up and then the people that sleep in the room next to you. Because that's not cool.
Nope.
Alright. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop.